Alrighty, guys, it's time for this week's budget review. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little nervous about coming on for this week, but after going through this, looking at some things, I'm feeling pretty good about the progress that we made this week. So let's go ahead and get into it. So this is a print off that I got from using the Stebit. I keep calling it the Stebit app, but when you use it online, it's called Stebit.com. But if you use the app, it's the debt payoff planner, and this thing has been one of my game-changing tools. So I do have a link in the description down below if you want to check that out. And let's get into this budget planner, guys. So what the Hemlock and Oak Daily does is it starts you off with this year at a glance. I call this my dashboard. Basically, anything that happens budget-wise during the year, I just kind of put on here. So all of my paydays are in green, focus accounts are in red, holidays and birthdays are in purple. Large amounts of money in are yellow. We'll see the taxes. They'll be appearing in February and March. They're going to be a darker green. And of course I have the two car expenses. So that's my car inspection and my registration plates. Last year I had the driver's ID, so that would have been another one on here. But pretty much what this does is it just gives me a quick glance of one, how busy the month was, two, when things are coming up, so I need to know if I need to save or if, oh my god, excuse me. It always happens when I'm filming. Or if you have upcoming expenses, so that would be like the vehicle things. Can't get away from it, guys. It just happens. So, for this year, I wanted to make sure that I was using every page possible in this, and I already knew that I would be including inserts because of Tetris and that. So just for the holidays page, I just quickly added a holiday plans page. Again, it's too soon in the year, so nothing's really happening here. The closer we get to each of these holidays, we're gonna actually, see something being written on them, but they are blank for now. One thing that Hemlock and Oak did do is they used to have a 2 years at a glance page. They removed it for the 2024 edition, so I just reinserted it. Originally, I didn't really know what to do with this page, but I thought it would be a nice way of seeing whenever, my debt payoff journey would be ending. So the information that I got from the payoff plan from Stebit, I just took the dates off of that, and I just wrote down the projected payoff dates for each of these accounts. It's just a nice way of getting a quick visual of, seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, so to say. Another thing that I did is as I'm paying off what I call my focus account, I just highlight the week that I'm paying off, just because it kind of lets me see like how long it takes for each of these accounts to go bye-byes. But as you can see, we are still working on CapQ, but I mean, that's okay because CapQ isn't projected to be paid off until March. It's just my goal is to get this thing paid off before the projected due date, because again, I want these gone as soon as possible. So the next insert I included would have been the Hungry Hungry Piggos. I'm keeping this for savings, and again, I did split them between needs and wants. This seemed to be the biggest factor for me last year, is where I would tell myself that I needed something, but it's not that I needed it, I just wanted it. So I'm trying to train myself to, it's okay to want wants, but I got to save for them instead of, basically conspiring with myself that it is a need. We haven't added anything to any of these accounts yet, just because at the start of the year you do have that hunger to get, going with your goal. So my main focus has been paying off the CapQ account. So I do have another one of these. Again, I can always just remove the washi tape and insert more if I want to. And all of these come from the Debt Free Charts website from Heidi Nash. Her little charts and payoff planners and that, they are adorable and they're super fun to use. So I do highly recommend checking her out as well. Again, the car loan sheet is new for this year because, again, I do want to purchase a newer car, but it also means that I need to get this thing out of the way before I do. So that's one of my top goals for this year. And it doesn't hurt to think ahead for the future. So I do have the house deposit sheet in here as well. Am I going to get to the house deposit sheet this year? Probably not, but you never know. I did a lot of progress last year, so I just figured this year I better put it in the budget planner because we were moving and cruising last year. So let's hope that that happens for 2024. And this is the first time that Ginger getting to see the progress on the Detritus chart here. So normally I wait until the end of the month before I even total up any of this, but like I said, I did so well for this last week that I just decided, okay, this is it. We're done for January because that's it's pretty good. It was definitely better than what I thought, and I did actually get this final row or the first row of Detritus colored in. And we're gonna see here later on why it, like, I don't want to say important, but this page is very important to me personally. It may not work for another person, but I really only had up to this one. I still had this one to go, and I just decided, you know what, why not? I calculated up how much more I needed to buy that last piece, and because I just really wanted to have that first row colored in before we moved into February. So for some weird reason, coloring blocks on a coloring sheet makes me want to pay off my debts. So if you think that you're somebody that can, benefit from something like this, the Detritus chart is a game changer. Because I probably wouldn't have made that extra payment if it wasn't for Detritus. So yay for Detritus. So that brings us to the monthly page here. And all I did is I took my mandatory bills, the ones that are due on the same day and are typically the same amount each month. Those are highlighted in the primary color, which for this month is that dark blue. Anything that you see marked in the gray, those are optionals. Those tend to be my savings, which I do a $5 a day savings account. So, with 31 days times 5, that gave me $155. I just split it up into a 75 and an 80 for each payday. I also have the no cards challenge, so we could see we're doing pretty good. I believe this was Bath and Body Works. But I mean, pretty good, guys, okay? Compared to the last couple months I've had. But one of the most important things that I've learned over this last year is it's extremely difficult to pay off credit card debt if you're still using the cards. So the trick is not to use the cards at all, if possible. So that's why I keep the no cards tracker. The next thing would be the focus account, since I am doing the snowball method, which we can see here. They're listed from the least to the greatest. And so that makes the cap Q, that makes that my focus account. And what I do is I just have a set $50 extra payment. I still do the minimum, so I have a $50 extra payment set for every Sunday towards my focus account. And well, we'll get on to that for the daily pages, but I mean, we can pretty much see all of the bills and everything's paid off for January. So January is pretty much a done deal. I was going to move this, but you know what? I still need to check those off here in the upcoming days, so I'm gonna leave it. And that gets us into the daily pages, which, I mean, guys, if this is the first time that you're seeing this daily planner from Hemlock and Oak, I mean, you gotta let me know in the comments what you think of it. I love this planner. It's just, it's so simplified and it's perfect for my budgeting needs. So let's get back into this weekly review here. I do try not to ramble, but I left things off last Sunday, and technically I was saved by the savings. So, basically, okay, did I have to make this extra payment? No. Did I want to? Yes. And it is because the sooner that it's paid, the sooner I can move on to the next account. So, I mean, this is what I had in my bank account. Like I told you, I still do those $50 extra payments. Technically, I couldn't have made it, but I still have what I call my stash account. I just take a little bit out of each pay, and technically it's money I put away for fun. Yeah, so I sat and decided, and I was like, okay, well, do you want to save it for something fun, or do you just want to make this payment and get it done with? And the answer was I just wanted to get it done with, so I did. I used the planner funds that I make from Passion Planner. I used that to cover my Hemlock and Oak purchase, so that's where that balance comes from. And I'm gonna leave this here just because I don't have that ticked off. I gotta go see why, but I do know that I transferred the planner funds over for that. That leads us into Monday. Okay, let's see here. Paid off ahead of time. So this is me just writing, just thinking about how for this year I changed with the heating bills and that, like all your utilities. Beforehand, I would pay them off. Granted, they would be paid off ahead of time, but I wouldn't mark it until like the day it was due. Where now I'm writing them down on the day that I do pay them. So, like, heating wasn't due until the 22nd, but I went ahead and just took care of all of those on the 13th. I mean, does it make the page look crammed? Yes, but it also gives me a true running ledger of how much I have to spend. So it does help with the bill anxiety. And like I said, like I do, like I pretty much know exactly to the penny what I have in my account. So what I have to spend, what I have to save. So I'm really digging this new process that I've started for this year. Moving on to Tuesday, again, we can see like the funds in the bank account, they are squeaking by, okay? Like I'm at a $26 right now on Tuesday, and of course I had to make my Starbucks trip, but I used my points, so it was zero. Of course, I have fast food. That's what I eat while I'm at work, but I always try to make sure that it's 5 or under. The thing that like really saved my butt for this day is that my son and I have a agreement between picking up around the house. I actually thought that it would make him pick up after himself, but it doesn't. But the good news for me is basically I get paid too. So those funds pretty much came in and saved the day because it helped boost my account numbers, which is going to help me get through the rest of the week here until payday. Again, on Wednesday, this is where I'm reminding myself that it is almost payday. And it's just, the days right before payday are just really the toughest for me. It's not that I'm short. I have been there. I have went through that where you are literally living payday to payday to payday, and it sucks. But it's, I don't know what it is. I just want to spend more, and it's not on things that I need, it's the wants. So that's where I really gotta try to watch myself, because, you know, like I said, the funds are low, and this is where, like, I will tend to go online and, like, browse more, and it's like, dude, no, please don't do it, because you're gonna need the credit card to buy it. And again, you know, we're paying off credit card debt, we don't want to accumulate more. But we made it through Wednesday, and we got it to Thursday, and yeah. So again, this is me struggling with the wants, and knowing that I only had 27 left in the bank. That should have been a just try to no spend today. But what do? I go and have that coffee trip. Should I have with it being that low? No. But I mean, it is my weakness, guys. And I mean, it's just so nice to have at 4 p.m. because it's like the halfway mark between my work shift, and it does help me get through the work shift. At least I like to believe it does. Um, but yeah, this is one of the things that I do want to try to work on for myself. But as of right now, it's a done deal. But we did make it to payday, guys. Amazingly. So to start with on this page, one of the things that I started this year is anything that I have left over when it does come over to the payday, it instantly goes into the stash account. So I'm trying to train myself into thinking that I have less money because I'm only using what I get paid for that pay period instead of like letting the rollover go. But like as we can see, like back to that one day where I needed the stash savings funds to cover that one extra payment, kind of doing this is actually helping me pay off the debt. You would think it would be counteractive because you would want more money in your account, but just kind of hiding it away in the stash account makes me forget that I even have it, and then that way when something comes up, it's there to save the day. I have not checked these off either, but I did do them. Okay, so of course we got paid. I did double the stash amount as well, so it used to be 20 last year, now it's 50. So we got double the amount going into the stash account, plus any of that rollovers going into the stash. So I am trying to make up for when I do want those wants or those needs, or not even really a need. It's a want or a fun thing. This is how I can get those things without feeling guilty about spending. I finished the daily savings goal that we saw earlier. I did have a Joann's purchase, but I used a Pay in 4. Could I have paid it off all in total for this day? Yes, but I figure since it's items for the shop, and I'm gonna wait and see if somebody buys it, and then I can just put the funds back into the account. So that's why I did the Pay in 4. Of course, we had another Starbucks trip, and the big one is the groceries. And I really was not keeping up with the highlighting on this day. It's funny how I don't notice it until we go into filming. I'd stared at this all morning long, but yeah, we get to filming, and then I'm like, oh, you didn't do this. But yeah, so we did have a really large grocery trip for this day. It kind of gave me a little bit of anxiety because I'm not used to having a grocery trip that large. Normally they are like $40 to $50, but it made me realize with the change in my shifts, since I am going in earlier, it gives me less time to shop because I used to shop on my break when I worked the later shift. And so now I'm really shopping for 2 weeks. So with that in mind, then yes, yeah, this is about the same amount. The only way this is going to be a problem is if during this week or like in the middle of the following week, if I do go shopping and I do this again, then yes, I am doubling my expenses. But if I can make it the next payday without doing anything extra, then we're in the clear. And of course, we had to upgrade Bert's food because somebody decided that he wants to do salmon. So made sure we were stocked up on that. But I mean, in one way, it's kind of nice knowing that I have everything for the next 2 weeks, and in another way, it does kind of scare me because that's a lot at once. So we're moving into Saturday, guys. See, we're moving right along here. So another thing that I've learned from using this, which if you've noticed that if I do go shopping or I spend during the day, I will mark it on the schedule when I went. Anytime that I stay at home, I mean, and really, I gotta make sure that I stay busy. So I am doing my workouts, I'm cleaning the house, I'm working on creative projects, I'm filming, those type of things. As long as I stay busy and I don't get bored, I do not online shop. And of course, since I'm not leaving the house, I can't go to the store and shop. So it becomes a no spend day. Um, as we can see, the majority of my spending is on the days that I do have to go to work. And we can see even last weekend, nothing because I stay home. Other than Hemlock and Oak, they had a flash sale, and I can't wait to get down there. I can't wait to show you what I'm going to do with what I got. So I was supposed to have it by today, but it looks like tomorrow. But yeah, so this is how I know. I try to stay home as much as I can on the weekends just because it does reduce my spending. And that gets us to today. And this is really what perked me up here, because you can see, like, as far as I was concerned, it was low funds, low funds, low funds, just barely made it to payday, and just got done paying all the bills, and that there's nothing exciting there. But as I was reviewing some of this before, getting on here and filming, I made my extra CapQ payment, and that made me, start totaling some of this up, and I, added it up and everything, and I was like, you are so close. So close to, this would have been before the 200, so it's like, okay, so you still need 200 to get to 425, which debit says that I need to pay to keep up with my timeline here. So it's like, okay, can you afford to do the 200? So of course, then I go into February, and this is why the whole monthly thing is important to me, because it helps you like plan ahead. And I started looking at it, and it's like, okay, well, you only got this one and this one. That one's a 0, which I guess I could mark that off now. So the ones with the 0 are accounts that I've paid off in the previous years, but I still keep them on here. But I mean, I really only have these 3 here. This one's technically already paid, and this one comes out of its own savings account. So looking at that and knowing the number that I had, the answer is yes. Yeah, you can definitely make that $200 payment, which kind of seems a little crazy. So I started with that, and you can see that I started adding it up, okay? And then, they gave me the 952, and of course, I colored in the detritus blocks. And I was like, man, you're really close to getting that last block. Like, it just made me wonder, how much is it? And that would have made me wonder, like, should I take it out of my stash funds just to buy that last block? Which is, I mean, it kind of seems ridiculous, because in my mind, I'm buying a block on a sheet of paper that really has no value. It's really that I'm making that extra debt payment. But in my mind, I'm buying a block, and it hit me, it's only $5. Like, I was $5 away from getting that last block. So that's where I was like, okay, I've already done all the payments for this day. The creditors do get a little cranky if you make too many in one day, so I just put it on for tomorrow, which is Monday. So technically, as of tomorrow, I will have all of those blocks. So that's it, guys. I mean, just normally doing the whole budget planner and that makes me nervous. It does bring up anxiety. You do get a little angry sometimes when you realize how much you're paying towards your debt. But it's like these little wins right here of where it's like you just needed $5 more to get that final row, and it just boosts your mood for the rest of the day. So that's it for this week's review. I can't wait to come on and move into February with you for next week. And again, I just want to close out by saying thank you so much for watching, guys. I do greatly appreciate it. And please remember to hit that like and subscribe button to see more Plan With Me's.